This is Andrew bringing you another Keyforge deck reveal and review. This is going to be a Worlds Collide deck, and this is from my box number 1. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, okay. Star Alliance, Logos, and Brobnar. That could be a pretty interesting combo. And this is Spike Metal, Garden Shuttle Pilot. Nice crab-looking Archon there. Star Alliance Logos is just so crazy because you just burn through the deck so fast. Brobnar gets a bad rap. I've seen some good Amber Control Brobnar decks though, with cards like what's the Throne and Pile of Skulls. You can get quite a lot of capture going. Alright, so starting off with Brobnar. Speaking of Amber Control, we have Berserker Slam, gain an Amber, deal 4 damage to a flank creature. If this damage destroys that creature, its controller loses 1. Cowfine, 5-power giant. Before fight, deal 2 damage to each neighbor of the creature Cowfine fights. Really nice board control there. Groke, 5-power giant. With fight, your opponent loses 1. I'm generally a bigger fan of Crump from Call the Archons than of Groke. However, Groke is nice if your opponent has some skirmish creatures. Gron Ninetoes is a fun one. 5-power giant. He gets +4 damage while he's damaged. Important to understand, if something does 5 damage to him, he's going to die. But if something does, let's say, 4 damage, then suddenly he becomes power 9, and that includes assault. So something, let's say your opponent has something that's 5 power with assault 2, they're going to do 2 damage, he becomes 9 power all of a sudden, and then they do another 5. At that point, he has 7 damage, but he is 9 power, so he's still alive. Narp. 8-power giant with 1 armor. Narp's neighbors can't reap. Okay, that's okay if he's like, if you have Groke and Cowfine next to him, that's not so bad. And we only have 1 this time. My last Brobnar deck I got 3, which was a lot. Shorty is 4-power assault 4. When Shorty reaps, he gets enraged. It's another thing I wouldn't mind, having Shorty next to the Narp. So this is pretty okay. Tremor. Action, you stun a creature and each of its neighbors. That's really good. Flamethrower is an artifact and weapon. It exhausts to deal 1 damage to a creature with 1 splash. I didn't love this in Age of Ascension, but I think its stock went up with Worlds Collide because this is a really effective way to deal with wards. So I actually like Flamethrower now. Grumpus Tamer. Okay, that's interesting. It's a 4-power giant with Reap. Search your deck and discard pile for a War Grumpus. Reveal it and add it to your hand. Then shuffle your deck. That means we're going to get some War Grumpuses in here. We'll come to those later, I guess. And then we have Signal Fire, which is an artifact, an item with a bonus amber, and it has Omni. Sacrifice it for the remainder of the turn. Friendly Brobnar creatures may fight as though they belong to the active house. Yeah, that could be pretty good. We have good fight in here, so pretty nice. War Grumpus, 3-power beast with fight, reap, ready, and fight with a neighboring giant. Probably don't want this next to the Narp, but having it next to the Shorty could be pretty good. Oh, that'd be amazing. Reap with the Shorty, enrage it, reap with the War Grumpus, fight with the Shorty. That's pretty good. Wouldn't mind having it next to the Cowfine, for example. And did we get another War Grumpus? Yeah. 2 War Grumpuses in here. So that's pretty cool. I feel like this is like a really active Brobnar, right? We got 2 Amber Pips, that's not a ton, but we got some Amber Control, and it just like wants to be doing stuff, and Signal Fire makes that even more so. So I think this is actually a Brobnar that'll be pretty good at board control. Possibly very bad news for some Saurian decks, actually. Okay, let's look at our logos. We have Babbling Bibliophile, 1-power Cyborg Scientist with Reap, draw 2 cards. Really nice if you can pull that off. Information exchange is an action. When you play it, you steal an amber. If your opponent stole amber from you on their previous turn, you steal 2 instead. That's really nice. Quant is a 3-power human scientist. With Reap, you may play 1 non-logos action card this turn. We'll have to review later and look at what non-logos action cards we get. So far we have Tremor and Berserker Slam, so not a lot of choices, and we have 2 Quants. So hopefully we get a bunch of actions in Star Alliance. Tau Tau Vapors is an action that draws you 2 cards and archives a card. Really nice for moving through your deck fast. Titan Guardian is a 5-power beast and cyborg with 1 armor, taunt, and the destroyed effect if Titan Guardian is not on a flank, draw 2 cards. That's really nice. Yeah. Twin Bolt Emission. Gain an amber, deal 2 damage to a creature and 2 damage to a different creature. Fantastic. Really nice for dealing with wards, also really nice for dealing with small 2-power elusives. Anomaly Exploiter is an artifact and item with action, destroy a damaged creature. That works really well with the Flamethrower, and as well as with Twin Bolt Emission, so that's pretty good. Memory Chip is an artifact and item that says after you choose Logos as your active house, archive a card. That's really nice. Cool. Hide. Oh, we're going to get Hide and Vellum. So Hide is a 4-power human scientist. With Reap, draw a card, but if you control Vellum, you draw 2 cards instead. Is Vellum next? No, Vellum. I'm going to find Vellum, because if you haven't seen them, it's worth just putting them next to each other. So Hide is a 4-power human scientist. With Reap, draw a card, but if you control Vellum, you draw 2 instead. Vellum is Reap is a 2-power human scientist. With Reap, archive a card, but if you control Hide, archive 2 cards instead. So if they're both on the board, they're better. And Hide has destroyed archive Vellum from your discard pile if you do archive Hide, and Vellum has destroyed archive Hide from your discard pile if you do archive Vellum. So they have a way to keep pulling each other back in, which is great. Self-Bolstering Automata is a 1-power robot with destroyed if you have any other creatures in play. Instead of destroying Self-Bolstering Automata, fully heal it, exhaust it, and move it to a flank. If you do, give it 2+1 power counters. This is a very interesting card, and it's actually pretty good. You know, if you have like Twin Bolt Emission and you need to hit something, your opponent doesn't have enough creatures on the board, you hit this. You might even decide to, Flamethrower, even if your opponent doesn't have anything on the board, Flamethrower your own Self-Bolstering Automata to start to build it up, make it bigger. So pretty interesting stuff. My understanding, though, is pretty weird, is that you really need to have it die to damage in order for it to get those +2 power counters, the 2+1 power counters, or it has to have some damage on it, which means the first time it's going to have to take 1 damage, which would kill it. Armsmaster Melina. We're in Star Alliance now. Armsmaster Melina is a 4-power human with Hazardous 3, and each of its neighbors get Hazardous 3. That's really good for protecting cards like Hide, Vellum, the Bibliophile, so pretty good, and could help your Brobnar stuff too. We have 2 of those. Wow, this is going to be a good board control deck. That's crazy. Chief Engineer Walls is a 2-power human with Elusive and Playfight Reap. You may return an upgrade or robot card from your discard pile to your hand. We got some robots. We got the Automata. We got... Not a lot. So we'll see what we get in Star Alliance, but not a lot for him to work with so far. 2 of those. Explo River, okay, that goes. 3-power robot with Skirmish, but it can be played as an upgrade instead of creature, and it gives the creature Skirmish. That could be really good with, for example, the Groke. Oh my gosh, that'd be so good with the Groke, with, like a Groke between a couple of War Grumpuses. Oh wow, that could be great. Lieutenant Karkar is a 5-power alien Handuhan with Taunt and Hazardous 3. This next to Melina would be Hazardous 3, and between 2 Melinas would be 3 Hazardous 3s. My understanding of how that would work, if you have, let's say 3 Hazardous 3s on here, is they plink separately. So what that means is if something with Ward goes to attack this, the first 3 kills the Ward, then the next 3 hits, then the next 3 hits, and then if it's still alive, the attack would finish. So anyway, crazy with the hazardous stacking there. Melina's Blaster is an upgrade with a bonus amber. It gives a creature Fight Reap. You may deal 2 damage to a creature or attach Melina's Blaster to Armsmaster Melina. And after you attach the Blaster to Armsmaster Melina, you can deal 3 damage to a creature. This is another good target for walls, and it's good creature control. So, wow, we have really good board control here. We just need something to do with it. And here comes Science Officer Chincan. 2-power alien Proximan scientist with elusive, and after a player chooses an active house which matches no cards in play, steal 1. That is potentially very good with all the board control. Yeah, that could be pretty good. We have stealth mode. So the reason Chincan is really good, I was hoping we'd get another one, but the reason he's so good with board control is it means that when your opponent goes to take their turn, you're going to steal 1. And then when you go to take your turn, if you choose a creature that, or a house that's not on the board yet, you steal 1. But if you're consistently wiping their side of the board, then they're going to be letting you steal 1 a lot. Stealth mode is an action with a bonus amber. After you play it, your opponent cannot play action cards during their next turn. That's good player control. We have Calvin, another walls target. That's good. 2-power robot with an armor, and it has Fight Reap, draw a card, but it can be played as an upgrade instead of a creature, and then it gains the text, this creature gains Fight Reap, draw. Imagine putting this and the Explo Rover on a Groke between 2 War Grumpuses. I mean, that would just be insane. So, the dream. That'd be the dream. Ooh, and Karkar's. We got 2 blasters here. Karkar's Blaster gives you a bonus amber. It's an upgrade, and the creature gains Fight Reap. You may deal 2 damage to a creature or attach Karkar's Blaster to Lieutenant Karkar. And after you attach Karkar's Blaster to Lieutenant Karkar, you ward Lieutenant Karkar. That's pretty cool. Helps him keep taunting and controlling the board that way. And Chincan's Blaster. Wow. Okay. It's an upgrade with a bonus amber, and it gives the creature Fight Reap. You may deal 2 damage to a creature, or attach the blaster to Chincan. And after you attach it to Chincan, you may archive a creature in play. Because it just says a creature, there's no reason you couldn't archive your opponent's creature, I think. So, interesting. There's nothing with a great play effect here on our own side, really. Walls, but I don't think we're really going to need that. So, I really think the ideal is to archive an opponent's card. Is that if it'll do that? And we don't have really other archives in here, so it's not like we would ever want to pull that back out, so it would be effectively purged. Except for the Vellum, the Hide, the Memory. Okay, we do have a good amount of archive here. Never mind, I was wrong about that. Yeah, okay, so, I mean, this is pretty interesting. I feel like this has some good potential. The one bummer part, and by the way, looking back at the Quant, we have Stealth Mode also, which we can play with the Quant, but that's really it. So the Quants, I think, are going to be probably the worst thing here, because there's literally only 3 cards that they can pair well with. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but which just means that we can use them to throw at things if we need to. But I love all the blasters. I mean, this is 3 blasters. That's pretty cool. And all different effects. If we can establish board control, then we can keep cycling our deck even on the Brobnar turns with the right upgrades. And we can just do some pretty crazy stuff. We have some ways to make the opponent lose Amber. So there's definitely potential to turn this into a win. But we have to establish that board control. That is really the thing here. The reasons why that might be hard are that we don't have ward, except for Karkar, and Automata obviously keeps itself alive. But other than that, we do not have ward effects. Overall, I think it has a lot of potential. It's pretty good. So I am excited about it. I hope you enjoyed watching this deck reveal with me, and that you'll get out and forge some keys.